Of course, I start coughing as soon as we go live, right? That's how it works, right? It's pretty great.
That means it's live.
I know, right? So we're live in our first nerdy broadcast, and we still don't even have a name for this. You know that? Like, I don't know the name. So if you guys have any ideas of what we should name this, little podcast, let us know. Wow. So I'm listening right now to feedback. This is like pretty loud.
Meaning I can hear it too, and I don't have headphones.
Whoa, what was that?
I can hear it too, and I don't have headphones.
All right.
I hear you talking. I see myself. I hear the headphones, and then there's a delay.
Hey, this is a great start right now. We didn't even get to our top. All right. Anyway, this is Hector from Not2Nerdy. This is my friend George right here. We have a new podcast that we're doing. It's about nerd culture. So anything goes pretty much, which is pretty cool. So anything to do with nerd culture.
Sorry, I don't have my glasses.
Yeah, I mean, he's not, we'll test him right now so he's a true nerd or not in a couple minutes. But that's pretty much it. So this is the first show. We still don't even have a damn name.
Together.
Yeah, I know. So it's kind of cool. We'll figure things out. We'll talk about anything from reaching from video games to expand all the way to movies and stuff like that. Nerdy
Nintendo,
movies.
By the way.
We'll talk about that shortly. But that's pretty much it. I mean, because Nintendo's in the news right now. They're at the top of their game at the moment. But I mean, he's sort of like me in the fact that he likes retro games as well. But anyway, so without further ado, that's pretty much it. With the show, that's what's going to be about for the most part. So let's get started. Let's go straight into the show right now. And so George, why don't you tell us about yourself? Tell us about what qualifies you as someone that will be good for this podcast. Why do you think you'll be good for this podcast? Go ahead, explain. Without cracking up, without getting nervous, stage fright,
Well, my name is George, DJ Extraordinaire, GB3. Come find me in New Brunswick, among other places.
Okay, just tell people your location. That's perfect. Why do you just tell them your address? Okay, cool. Like your social security, whatever you got, just say it on there. I mean, we're not live at all right now.
Affirmative action got me here, so thank you for that. Also, what qualifies me for nerd culture? I've been playing video games since I was a kid, but I admit I guess I hit kind of a wall once the Wii came out. So like I play mostly N64, then some GameCube, then some Wii, but mostly I play N64 nowadays.
All right, so we already jumped in favorite video games. Awesome.
I didn't say anything about games yet. All I said was a few different systems. We didn't talk about my favorite movies yet. Star Wars, okay. Star Trek. Star Trek is cool, fine, whatever. Star Wars.
Though. Oh, so now you like Star Trek and Star Wars. Gotcha.
Look, Han Solo is not a bitch. Just want to put that out.
Spoiler alert. You're supposed to shout that out first.
You never seen Fanboys?
Oh, my gosh. All right.
Fanboys.
Well, let's go into the first topic. We're going to talk about video games. All right? Like just favorite video games, something, just in case you guys don't know, the Beastly Thought Show. I definitely a part of that podcast over there. Occasionally, I try to make it as much as I can, and we talk about video games there. So we're not going to talk as much about video games here, and when we do, more than likely it's going to be retro video games, especially since he's big on like retro video games, stuff like that. So am I. That's like my passion. I have a huge game collection, stuff like that, and it's only getting bigger. So she said. But oh no, she really did. She saw my game collection. She's like, it's pretty big. But yeah, so that's pretty much what we're gonna talk about for the most part when we talk about video games here. But without further ado, what is your favorite video game, George? Why don't you explain to us which is what system, what game, and why?
Okay. First, N64's Super Smash Brothers has been my favorite game for the longest time. I can even tell you exactly when. It was.
You tell me the date, time, okay. I'm done.
No, I can tell you. It was Thanksgiving weekend, 1999. My brother and I, we went to Blockbuster. We went to Blockbuster to go rent this game that we had just heard of. What's this? Super Smash Brothers? Like, yo, a bunch of Nintendo characters all fighting each other. Great. We played that literally. We got out of school on Wednesday, half day, from Wednesday afternoon all the way up until Sunday. Like bars are closed at 9 or 10. We played up until like 8:50 because we lived right around the corner from there. Ever since then, hooked.
And what's the one character you play with all day or day? I said it right that time.
No, my brother plays with one character.
No,
all
you
day,
play one
day.
character. All you do is play with Kirby.
No.
You play Kirby 24/7.
Kirby, yes, Kirby is number one, but that's not who I even started with, bro.
Oh my gosh, you started with
I
Link,
wish.
didn't you?
I would no.
Who was it?
I wish my
Mario?
brother was here right now. No, Yoshi. Actually, Yoshi.
Yo, get out of here. All I gotta say is this: anytime I ever see you play, if you compete against someone, you've been in like that tournament.
Yes, Kirby is my best character nowadays. He's my best character.
That's all
he's
you do.
Yes, he's like my opener, whereas Mario will be my closer. Shout out to Mo. Number 45 too. 42.
By the way, just to cut you off for a second, I guarantee you guys next time when we do this podcast for the next one, we're gonna have a name. So definitely, like I said before, make sure you let us know in the comments down below what you think this podcast should be called. Second of all, we're definitely got better quality in this. I'm looking at this live stream right here, and the video quality is crap. So more than likely, I'm going to do like a Skype call or something and then stream it through OBS, and then make sure I'll play it back or live stream it through OBS.
I've got it.
Okay.
Black and yellow.
Right.
Screw the Steelers.
Why am I yellow? But anyway.
Why is he yellow?
Anyway. So I'll go into my favorite game. All right. My favorite game of all time. In case you guys have not been following, you don't know, it's going to obviously be Metal Gear Solid. And that's my favorite game of all time. And that's for the PlayStation Metal Gear Solid, which is that game is just, I mean, there's so much to say about that game. But like, if you really look at it, that's the first game that really had true cutscenes. It made you feel like you were the hero of a movie. And that's something that I never experienced before in a game. Like, yes, like before that, I used to love A Link to the Past. Like that was my favorite game before Metal Gear Solid came out. Because I thought that's what it's all about. Like, you got to go around the world and you got to experience everything on your own. You were the story. My story was different from your story in certain ways because you got to travel and do different things throughout the world the way you wanted to. Of course, you had to collect things and you couldn't go to certain places without them, but your experience could have been different from mine.
Well, Super Smash Brothers had different bonus rounds for different characters.
Yeah, okay. so then when all of a sudden Metal Gear Solid came out, that game it just blew my mind. It just felt like a movie. Yes, it had so many cutscenes, but to be honest, I love the cutscenes and I love it. Like there's different endings, stuff like that. So
cutscenes are awesome.
Although PlayStation's really not my favorite console at all, but the regular PlayStation, it's not the best. I'm talking about PlayStation, the regular PlayStation, not my favorite console. I mean, I like PlayStation over Xbox. I mean, I would say that I like PlayStation over Xbox more, but I would not state that a PlayStation 1 is my favorite one. I think PlayStation 2 was better. PlayStation 3 obviously was better. I think PlayStation 2 for me was a lot better. Had a lot more. It had a lot of games there. Yeah. But anyway, so that's pretty much it for the video game talk, I guess. I mean, there's really nothing.
That's it.
I guess one thing, because you really don't know about this stuff because you don't follow the news as much. And I told you this already about the PlayStation VR and all the virtual realities coming out. How do you feel about virtual reality? Do you think that it's something that's going to take off? Because you're someone that really wasn't paying attention to, right? You didn't know that all this new things coming out. Only thing you knew about was for the phone, right? Yeah. You have the Samsung Galaxy S7.
Yes.
Right. So you have that
beautiful phone. By the way.
You knew I have the Note 5. Don't forget. Get the Note 6 when it comes out. But anyway, looks like an iPhone. Just letting you know that looks like an iPhone. Can you please show it to them? Just show it to them. It looks like leave the case. I'm saying with the case. With the case. Look at this. With the case. Trying to turn it off so they don't see anyone's numbers and stuff. Like, look at that. That looks, for some reason, looks like an iPhone. And I don't like the iPhone at all. I'm a big iPhone hater. But I'm just saying it does remind me of the iPhone a lot, which is kind of scary. I hope that when the Note 6 comes out, that it does not look like that. Although I do like the fact that they added expandable memory. So like you can actually expand the memory again like you used to, which is to me is
Expand your mind, America.
yeah, it's make America great again. So, like, but yeah, so that is awesome. Now, how do you feel about VR though? Like, what do you think? Do you think that they'll pull it off? Because you're a person, like I said, that wasn't really following it. Do you think it's something that the price was right? You would buy it?
Yeah, especially since honestly, I'm getting my first VR device for free. But I think that's where the Wii has been.
What VR device you're getting for your phone?
I'm getting the Samsung VR because of my trusty little pre-order for my phone. I should be getting that. I see it said 4 to 6 weeks. It's been maybe 2 weeks since I've gotten this phone, so hopefully another 4 weeks I'll be getting it. Tell you all about it.
Like, what do you plan on looking at VR? Like, what do you want to use it for? What do you think VR would be the most successful? Besides porn, what do you think VR will be the most successful part of VR? Do you think?
Let's see. I would say, well, for one thing, I love traveling. Traveling is my thing. Like, something, and it reminds me of something I was just reading about last night. Somebody brought up the subject of trying to build a superhighway from somewhere from Russia to New York or Florida. And so I would love to be able to go on like a virtual tour of different places, different countries, even if something I've always wanted to do, I plan on doing is traveling the country by car, but not just, going across to California and back to the East Coast. I mean, literally going from place to place, seeing each town I go through the eyes of the locals. For example, I work for Outback Steakhouse, and my plan is to go work for different Outback Steakhouses from here all the way to Florida, where it all started in Tampa, Florida.
By the way, we're not sponsored by Outback, just let you guys know, unless you want to Outback.
Booming Monday's coming.
But yeah, because here's the thing, right? I think the most successful thing besides porn is because clearly, come on, people are gonna be buying it for that reason. But I think that the one thing a lot of people are gonna use it for is because if you notice for phones and different mobile devices, people have been streaming movies and watching TV shows and stuff like that on the go more often. So I think though something that's gonna be more successful is like if they have a virtual reality where you're like sitting in the theater or something like that, where you're sitting back and it feels like you're in a bigger room than you actually are. I think that to me is something that you could sit down with your headphones, look at a movie, and say if you're on a train, say if you're on a plane, like you're traveling somewhere. Yeah, if you're traveling somewhere, like not while you're driving, of course, but if you're traveling somewhere, like I think that might be successful and like be a good starting point for a lot of people that they might just get it just for that, just to sit down and relax and actually watch something, And I think that happens because like for example, there's people, there's couples out there, people are married, stuff like that. One person's sleeping, you can't really watch TV, you really can't do so. What if you were able to watch a movie, be quiet, and watch it right there, and that's it? And like you don't have to wake up the person next to you. Like something like that is pretty simple. And yes, it's VR. You're not really using it in the biggest way ever, but at least it's something simple, something that you could do, and it's easy to make it seem like you're in a movie theater, to make it seem like you're in an environment, because everyone knows like watching a movie at home always feels different from watching a movie in the movie theater. You always get that different feeling. Like I guess it's more exciting when you're out in the movie theater. So if you could like make it like that illusion like you're there through virtual reality, I think it's something that will probably be something that jump starts it, because obviously in the future, like there's gonna be things where, like you said, to travel different places, you want to visit places, right? Say someone their deathbed, they want to make sure that like they get to see something before they die, there's opportunity to let them do that. I think there's more natural ways too, like for example, your realtor, right? You want to sell a house, do virtual tours through the VR. You can let people do, what I mean?
My boy.
Yeah, you let people tour the houses, virtual reality, virtually. And like, I think that's something that will pick up right away. And so that right there is one thing. And there's so many different things. Now, video games, it's funny because out of everything, I think video games is going to be hit or miss. I think a lot of people, obviously they sold out. PlayStation 4 sold out in seconds. Like I had to get around 2 and I actually got it. I actually got 2 of them by accident, but I kept the 2 pre-orders because I ordered 2 different cards. So I don't know how they gave me 2 orders. Oh, because I think it's my last address. I have one in my last address, so I'll adjust that later. But I'm definitely gonna keep both of them and then just sell one of them. But yeah, I mean,
I was number 10 in line for the Wii, second round. I remember it was the night of Thanksgiving. I don't remember what year it was, but Thanksgiving night, we rushed, my brother and I and my sister. We all rushed back from North Jersey and came in just to go back to the GameStop around the corner from our house. People were already there. We got there at midnight. People had already been there. We asked the person first in line, "What time did you get there, bro?" 5:00 on Thanksgiving. Like, about dinner? Like, this is the Wii we're talking about. Like, oh, word.
Yeah. All I gotta say is this: like
we were 12th in line, but there were only 10. Miracles, bro.
Well, that's just back to virtual reality real quick. We're gonna jump into that in a second. I'm gonna go back to Nintendo in a second. So virtual reality, hopefully it picks up. And everyone, obviously, I think PlayStation is gonna be the ones that lead the way because it has almost 40 million people that own consoles. So they have
They'll
more
lead
people.
The way because it's something you told me years ago. Because they'll be waiting to see what Nintendo or everybody else does. Or more importantly, Xbox probably.
Xbox isn't doing it. That's the thing. Like their competition isn't even in the consoles. I mean, no other console is doing it. Like Microsoft working on some other thing that's like it's the HoloLens, which is like it uses
like Google Glass,
like augmented reality. They use other things. So they're using real life stuff. And like, say, if you're looking at a table, they showed an example that they could play Minecraft on a table. So you're looking at it like a Minecraft, the blocks, everything are right there on a table, on a real life table. Then you're looking at it and you're doing it. I think that's almost impossible right now where we're at because it's going to be hard because they're talking about glasses and stuff like that. But I'm not going to go into that too much, but, yeah, so I think the only thing PlayStation is going against, Oculus Rift. There's also the Vive or whatever. That's another one. It's HTC, I think is the one that owns that one. But the thing is with those, it's those you need a good computer to run this. So you have to buy a good graphics card. Some of these graphics cards that you need to run it are about the same price as the PS4 alone. So the PS4 is there. It's ready for the most part. You're only going to need a camera, which I already have a PlayStation camera, and you're going to need a PlayStation Moves, which I have that as well. And these are things that some people have already. Mm-hmm. If not, they have a $500 bundle. So it sucks because that's $500 for accessories, for extra features. But then again,
it's $500 plus the cost of the console?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's so you're looking at $900 around, if you want this. So. Cool. I mean, the thing is, like I said, majority of people have the console already now. I mean, you have 40 million people that have the console now. So if you're a person that's new and you want to get into this, now you got to think, do I want to spend $900 on a PlayStation 4 with the bundle for the VR? Or am I going to be am I going to build a computer and then buy that VR, which is $600? So that's $600. So either way, it's still going to be cheaper getting the PlayStation 1.
Well, some people want it to happen. Some people wish it to happen. Others tear down the walls of resistance and make it happen.
All right. Well, with that said, let's talk about who's not making it happen these days is Nintendo. I'll just throw it out there. Nintendo's been in the news a lot. They have a new console that's coming out called the NX.
NX.
NX. And the console, I don't know. They had this rumor thing that people thought that was real. It's a little controller. It was a circle, and it was or oval, and it had two little nubs on it that were the controllers because they had a patent, right? And the patent it had there that it looked like that. So the whole oval has a picture in it. So the whole thing's covered, but it just didn't look right. And it turns out I kept saying it's fake. It looked fake to me. And it turns out the guy admitted that it's fake, that he made a fake one. He even showed people how he made it. He did a 3D printer. He used a 3D printer, and he made one. So they didn't announce it yet. More than likely, E3, they'll announce the console, stuff like that. So I don't know. you didn't get. You said you got the Wii, right? You waited in line for the Wii.
Yeah,
right.
I got the Wii. I don't have a Wii U yet.
Yeah, as I say, why didn't you get a Wii U? Besides
Excuse
if
me,
money was issue,
personal
whatever.
personal reasons.
Well, besides money issue, whatever. Why didn't you get a Wii U? Because you
No,
weren't.
it was literally the money at the time. That was literally all it was.
But what games excited you for Wii U right now?
Well, I was all about Smash Brothers 4.
Besides that,
yeah, I was.
that's what I'm saying. Like the number of games. Would you be satisfied that they're supposedly ending the Wii U within the next couple months at the end of this year?
I heard about that. Yeah, I was a little bit sad because all I kept thinking was I don't have one yet, and I can't play the new Smash Brothers yet. Which is something I'll
put it this way. You know I do garage sales, right? You know I go garage sales, flea markets. People have been selling their Wii U's in garage sales. It's already at the time that they're already throwing in the Wii U as something that it's cheaper. People are selling for $100. I see people sell for $80. They're throwing the Wii U in that price range at garage sales and flea markets and stuff. Not the flea markets as much. It's more the garage sales that people are just doing it plus games. Mm-hmm. Like you could get them real cheap now.
That's great to know. At the same time, well, I've never bought I've only bought like one or two games, never a console secondhand. I always think that people just abuse them. I mean, just abuse. I remember, so I used to just slaughter people in Mario Kart and Super Smash Brothers. Always looking for a new challenge, by the way. And when I used to play, I remember this one guy I used to play all the time. Every time I beat him, he would throw as hard as he could his controller on the floor, just and I always look at him like, and I remember before we started playing, he said like, be careful with that controller. The button sticks. I don't know what's going on with it. It's just something happens. And yeah,
I just saw the replay. It's like you look stupid doing the first time, and then the second time look even worse.
Oh, thanks. So yeah, he's like in the very beginning, just be careful, the controller sticks, blah blah blah, there's something wrong with it. And I said, oh, all right, I'll see what I can. I'll just make it work. And I almost lost, but then I still beat him. I was like, oh, cool. Like maybe I do have a couple skills that can make bad controllers work for me. So when I beat him, he threw his other controller on the floor, and finally I understood. And I was about to hand him one of mine because I wanted us to be able to play on even levels, or maybe give him a little bit of a handicap. But after I saw that, yeah, no. Which brings me back to my point. I've never really wanted to buy games, consoles or otherwise, secondhand. But maybe people take more, better care of them now.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. When you don't have too many games to play, it's like when you have too many games to play, you don't touch the console as much, which it actually stays pretty neat because you don't damage it. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying Nintendo doesn't have a lot of games, but they don't have a lot of games. Like that's the thing. They didn't have third-party support. And they don't have too many first-party games, but it's a shame because there's some games on there that are just like gems. Like some games are really good. Mario Kart was good. Mm-hmm. Yes, Smash Brothers, it was good on the Wii U. Mm-hmm. Like you had like the Mario Maker, which is awesome. I love Mario. I think that's an amazing game right there. Then like
I never played that, but it did look.
But then again, some of the best games are the same thing that people complain about, were the remakes, the HD. HD versions of other games, like the Zelda HD. Like that's all they had a Zelda HD for all of them, right? What was the other one that they had? Majora's Mask. Well, the Majora's Mask on 3DS, but they had
Link to the Past. Link to the Past.
No, but I'm saying like that was all 3DS. I'm saying the HD remake that they had so far was Wind Waker. They had Wind Waker HD that they put down to Wii U. They also had the new one, which is, the one the wolf.
The Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess. That just came out recently in HD.
They did that with that Unreal Engine, didn't they?
No, that was a fan made that one. Unreal Engine. Yeah, but
I thought they actually did. I thought somebody did the entire game because I know
just in one scene, which is pretty cool to see that. But I mean, thing is, like, yeah, I like it. Some of those games, like I bought I like those games. I mean, like the thing is that I don't know, like, it's something like they just didn't produce games, and like here they are talk about ending the console, right? Mm-hmm. They're ending this console, And what did they do? Like what about the Zelda game that they announced that it was going to come out, and now all of a sudden they're probably going to end it? So that game going to be released with the new console, or is it going to come on the end of this console? Is that what happened to the Wii? Well, remember what Skyward Sword came like towards the end of the Wii, and they didn't even take advantage of the Wii U. So it's just like it to me is like, why are they doing this? I don't understand. I just hope that the NX turns out to be pretty good, turns out to be things that people want to play, and people like you that will be like, you know what, I'll put the money down for this. I'll go ahead because I'm excited. I'm so excited to get back into playing that you'll do it. You know?
Yeah. I would I get the new console? Most likely. Honestly, over the last several years, whenever there's a new console that comes out for Nintendo, I always check to see, all right, there's got to be a new Smash Bros, got to be a new Mario Kart, because those are my two favorites. I always say Smash Brothers, but like, yeah, I didn't get into the whole Mario Kart thing. I still remember, so the first time I ever played Mario Kart 8, it was pretty sick. But it was for me anyway, it was difficult because I grew up on the original Mario Kart for Super Nintendo, and then I started playing even more Mario Kart 64. And of course, I played GameCube Double Dash, which I don't know if it was as popular, but people did seem to like it because it was definitely different. You know, having two people and everything like that.
I thought that one's like the hardest one, because I think there's more skill involved in that one. I think that one had the most skill. Like, you have to have the most skill involved in that one, just for the Double Dash. That's the way I felt with that one. I felt like that was one out of like all the ones that like you actually had to have more skill to win in that one than the rest.
See, my thing was when I was playing Mario Kart 8 was just trying to control, the virtual reality control. I wasn't used to being if I had to make a left turn, I'll turn to the left, but then it's like, for one thing, there was that lag. Mm-hmm. So I had to deal with that. I hate lag, man. It's really difficult. And then trying to get around the turn. If I turn just a little bit too far, then he's off the cliff. Turn not enough, then it doesn't turn enough. I'm off the other side of the cliff. And that was the first time I'd ever been beaten by a girl. That was the first time I ever been beaten
he ends his story, and that was the first time I was beaten by a girl. Where'd that come from? You have nightmares about that still?
Just nostalgia. So, it was only last year.
Like, I told my mom to stop. She just destroyed me again. Jesus, man. All right. So now we're going to talk about a movie now. So that's another thing. So if you guys have not seen Batman vs. Superman, definitely stop watching now. Come back later after you see.
Spoiler alert.
It's definitely a spoiler alert. A huge spoiler alert. And I'm about to say it now, so I'll give you guys a couple seconds. If anyone's watching right now, just drop off. Okay? It's only a couple viewers anyway. But I'm saying, like, people that are watching this later, just make sure you know this is a spoiler. I'll put it in the title too, just in case. Yeah. So let's go into Batman v Superman. Now, I feel so far comic book movies have been doing a great job. I think like Marvel's been leaned away, and they've been doing a great job. Now, DC, I think, had its run with the Batman trilogy. I think with that Christopher Nolan,
shout out to Christopher Nolan,
yeah, they did a good job. The only thing is, when you look at Marvel, because you have to compare the two. I don't care anyone says stop comparing the two. No, we're going to compare the two. When you look at Marvel is sort of like, they're happy films, like you feel good about the films they're watching. And DC, colorful. DC is all about the darkness. It's all dark and it's all, serious tone. And that's, you could just tell with the jokes and stuff like that. It's really stale jokes, DC, because everything's serious tone. And Marvel, there's always got to be a punchline. There's always got to be something.
Stale. I would call them dry.
It's dry because, like, you're saying it at the wrong time. Someone just died. Now you're just trying to say a joke now, just like, oh, like you don't know whether to laugh or not. It's like one of those jokes. And I don't know. It's hard to say. But another thing is, DC is sort of has its own movie world, I guess. So they're talking about movie world. You know, like it's all about certain things are made up, so it's not sticking like directly to the comic books. Marvel, however, for the most part, is sticking to the comic book. So that's the two separation. Like, and one last final thing that really separates two is Marvel took their time to introduce characters, to unite the characters, and introduce you to a whole universe. Whereas DC right now, at the moment, since they started all over, it seems like they're rushing everything. And that was just the introduction I want to get off to before we start talking about the movie. And man,
X-Men Apocalypse. You have Marvel versus in the Infinity Wars, and then you're gonna have DC. And honestly,
even Fox, right? The ones that own like X-Men and stuff like that. Even they're doing a better job than DC, I think, in the way that they brought out everything. They slowly brought the characters together. They introduced the younger crowd. They introduced the older ones, and they went back in time, and they tried to slowly present it so you got used to these characters.
Human Torch turned into Captain America.
All right. So with that said, let's go into this real quick. And so I want to start out by saying someone dies. All right, so spoiler alert one last time. It's the last chance. Spoiler alert, okay? And Superman dies. Like, that's it. That's pretty much the bullshit that we have to do. So let's start off from the beginning, okay?
You got shot in the face.
Let's go. Let's start in the beginning. The characters, all the actors. How do you feel the actors acted? Like, how do you think they did? I'll go over mine.
I liked it. Like, honestly, I went in performances. I went in with no expectations. I really did. The first time, of course, most of us, I think, heard that Ben Affleck was going to be Batman. Spoiler alert. The first time we all heard that, I think most of us, like those of us that heard Star Wars was going to be taken over by Disney, was like, how? No, why? Who? Ha?
Yeah.
But then, I think he did a really good job, and especially as somebody that didn't grow up with the comics so much. Although I did read a number of them, I didn't grow up with the comics like this guy did.
What are you trying to say? But
that you're a comical guy.
Okay. Well, let's go person by person now.
But hold on. Well, yeah. So Ben Affleck as
just
Batman.
Ben Affleck first. We'll start there. You start with Ben Affleck. We'll do that.
All right. Yes, I enjoyed it, and I thought I thought it was cool. But I'm still I guess a Christian Bale fan.
Okay.
But I went into it with no expectations. I had no expectations.
I think, first of all, Ben Affleck, right? I was one of the people that was skeptical. I thought that he could do a good job in a certain way. I thought that he could look like Batman out of any other Batman that's ever been Batman, pretty much. Any person that's played Batman, he looked like he could be the best Batman because he did look like the most intimidating Batman because of his size. Ben Affleck's like 6'4". And then when he put on like 200 something pounds, like he's like he weighs 2 something. Mm-hmm. And plus the suit, you're looking at someone that could be very intimidating. And I think that style of Batman, the one that we're talking about, the one in Justice League, the one that's going up against all these people with powers and gods and stuff like that, you're going with all these people with special abilities. You need a Batman that's bigger and stronger than Christian Bale or Michael Keaton. You know, you need someone bigger than those people. And I think it definitely Val Kilmer and George Clooney.
I didn't have too big of a problem with Val Kilmer, but don't ever bring up George Clooney ever again.
Dude, like him in his freaking suit with the nipples on him. But okay, so here's the thing. Ben Affleck, I think did a great job. I honestly think Ben Affleck looks like Batman. He looks like the Batman from the comic books, and he looks like the Batman from the cartoon series. He pulled off Batman. The voice, I had no problem with the voice. I thought that was pretty cool. That's a unique way to do it. And I think overall, I would say, this, that he is, I would say is Michael Keaton's number one to me. The number one, Batman. He had that serious tone. Like he played it off. Like he played Bruce Wayne well, and he played Batman. Christian Bale, the whole Bat voice. I don't care what anyone says. I'm Batman. Like I can't. It's not. You're not gonna play Batman like that. You're out of the picture. Val Kilmer, you're joking. And George Clooney.
Stop! Don't bring
George. I guess George Clooney played. He
played Batman as himself.
He played Bruce Wayne better, I guess. I don't know. Like I don't know. Like
he was
I think
himself.
Overall, I
think
Ben Affleck. If you're talking about the way he looks, the way he acted, I think he acted true and looked true to Batman. I think he did a great job in a movie that wasn't that great, which kind of sucks. I feel bad for him because once again he got screwed over. He did a way better performance than he did with Daredevil, way better. And I don't know, man. Like, let's go straight into because we're not really going to talk about Superman. I mean, whatever you felt about Superman doesn't matter because like he already was another movie already. So we already know that Superman. There's nothing new about him. Let's talk about what's his Jesse or whatever. No, let's not. We'll save that douchebag last. We're gonna go. We're gonna go to what's her name?
Amy Adams, Lois Lane, or no, Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. What's her name?
Something Gal Gadot.
Yeah, Gal Gadot. Right. How do you think she did?
I had never seen Wonder Woman in disguise before, like in a mild mannered disguise before. I liked that. I liked that a lot. I liked that she was going around, and then I love, of course, Wonder Woman exudes confidence and everything, and she was sitting. She went to this big party, and it's like she knew who Bruce Wayne already was, and like she watched what he did, undid what he did, and then later on, when he called her out on it, she goes, "Look, by the way, like I know your game, and I didn't steal it, I borrowed it, and it's in your glove compartment. Chill." I loved that. That was one of my favorite parts of her, like of her mild manner role. But then when she turned into Wonder Woman, that was awesome.
All right, so
there's things I didn't expect too.
There's things that they got right. They got the whip. They got certain things.
It's not a whip; it's a lasso.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's how shows how much I care about Wonder Woman. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it right now. I was shocked. I was shocked that she actually did way better than I thought she would. She did a way better job than I thought she would. She actually did the role as best as she could do, I believe. With that said, I think it was a horrible casting job because I don't see her as Wonder Woman. She should not have been Wonder Woman from the start, and that's the problem. With that said, she did her best. She did a good job. She did a decent job. I just feel that I know it shouldn't be, it's sexist and stuff like that and all that other crap to say.
Sexist.
Well, to say like how a woman should look. You shouldn't be like
her boobs should have been bigger.
No, not that. I'm saying like I actually think it's reverse way. I think they hired her for eye candy purpose. They didn't really get her because she looked like Wonder Woman. Because nothing about her looked like Wonder Woman.
Which you know what? Sorry to jump in really quick. This brings everything you said, and I didn't even think you were going to go with the eye candy part. Angela Bassett should have been Storm, not Halle Berry. Not Halle Berry at all.
Oh, okay.
At all.
All right. Well,
she was in there
anyway,
for eye candy
first of all,
purposes.
that movie, they changed who Storm is anyway in the new one. Storm's not the same person.
Yes, I know. But from the door, Angela Bassett should have been Storm.
All right, Marvel. All right, X-Men. Let's go back to DC, okay? So, like, as I was saying, she just didn't play the right role. She doesn't look like Wonder Woman. You know what I mean? She's just, I'm sorry, too skinny to be Wonder Woman. And I hate to say it like that. She didn't even tone up. Like, I thought, she's toner. I thought when she was going to do this role, I thought she's literally going to put on weight, like muscle weight, and she bulk up, and that didn't happen. I also know there's some storylines where Wonder Woman's a little bit taller. That didn't seem like it either. And I know there's different storylines because there's different ways where Wonder Woman's like huge, ripped, bulky. There's one where she's like curvy. There's one that she's not too big and she's a little bit shorter. So I know there's different versions of Wonder Woman. I understand that. But the one thing that Wonder Woman always had in common, like all of them had in common, is she always had a way to intimidate someone. to the intimidating factor. And she didn't have that.
She wasn't very.
She didn't seem like she could compete with everyone else, and that's not fair. I don't think that's just to the Wonder Woman character, because I think that she's a very, very powerful person, you know. And yes, she is a woman, you know, and she's powerful. Like, I think that's why I felt like they should have went that route and grabbed someone that is powerful, that is, you know, able to keep up with the men, to show how strong a woman can be. You know what I mean? I know it sounds like, you know, promoting like women's rights, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like,
we don't promote women's rights.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's kind of weird to me that they went that route. They literally took the.
You want a beer, man?
They went the route to like just use her for eye candy. That's all she's good for. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like that's what they did. They grabbed someone that looks pretty good, and her accent was too thick. I thought like her accent was.
I didn't think it was that thick. I know. I was thinking,
but it's not a proper accent either. You know what I mean? So the Amazon, like, it doesn't. It's not like a proper accent.
I think they used her in part also with the accent because to show that she is from another world. Yeah, Superman's from another world, but I mean, he was practically born here. He was born out there, but then day one he came out here. Yeah. So I like that they used the accent because she is a grown woman from another world.
Right. So now let's go to the guy, the last person, Jesse
Eisenberg,
whatever the hell his name is. Doesn't even matter because dude, Mark Soderbergh. What's his name again? What's that guy's name again? Because I couldn't tell. I could not tell because I don't care what his name was. It was not Lex Luthor. That's all I know. It doesn't matter what you tell me his name was. It was not Lex Luthor, because that had to have been the worst performance I've ever seen. Like, he single-handedly, like, when I rated this movie, when I got out of that movie and I said this movie is a 5 out of 10, and I was trying so hard not to hate certain parts because there's so many great, I'm saying not good, great parts of this movie. Like, the fight scenes were amazing in this movie. I thought this is some of the best fight scenes in any comic book movie. Like, they had some of that like in there, and it just killed me. With the casting, killed me for some people, and Jesse was just horrible. It's Lex Luthor. He didn't make sense. It was not right. He literally didn't act like Lex Luthor at any point. He didn't seem like Lex Luthor. He didn't. It just was like, I'm looking at this. I'm like, every time he talked, like, it made no sense. His parts, like, you'll see some drama between other people, then he comes on the screen. It made no sense.
Yeah, I'll admit, I've never seen what seems like a mentally unstable Lex Luthor. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, I thought that was very interesting. And I felt, honestly, I kind of felt misled. I kept waiting for him to sort of break out of it. Like, it was just an act. Yeah. And then at the end, it was going to be like, it's all part of my plan.
Yeah, it never turned out that way. And the weird thing is, like, it seemed like, I know it's weird, and I see other people say the same thing I did. Remember when I discussed to you that it felt like at some parts he was trying to act like the Joker, like Heath Ledger. He tried to act like that Heath Ledger character at the beginning. And I'm like,
in the beginning,
or throughout the whole movie, pretty much. But it seemed like that's
no, that was in the beginning.
Yeah, that seemed like that's what he was going for. Like, it seemed like he was using that and trying to act like that type of crazy, and like, I'm like, man, like, we've seen this before, and it was done better before, and you just brought it down a whole bunch. Like, it wasn't that good.
Well, you know what we could do? Let's ask Jesse Eisenberg right now. Jesse,
yeah, come out of that fridge, Jesse. Bring me a beer. like I don't know, man. I cannot believe this, that he signed on and that's what happened. And like, there's some people kept saying that he's not really Lex Luthor. He's like Lex Luthor Jr. And then at the end of the movie, it was proven wrong. He really is Lex Luthor. He even shaved his head. He's bald. He's not Lex Luthor. He's not Lex Luthor, like Luthor Jr. He's no one. Like, I don't know who he is. He's just some psychotic guy. I'm waiting for Lex Luthor to be like, sorry, I don't know who this guy is. You know what I mean? Like,
did you get kind of that sense though at the, like, especially because it was at the end when they shaved his head, kind of like, Anakin Skywalker turning into Darth Vader.
No. Like, I don't know.
I think he's actually Superman's father. That's what I think.
Yo, all right. So now that we got that out of the way, the characters, because that's pretty much it. Every other character is fine. I had no problems with any character. Those are the only three. I thought Ben Affleck needed a shout out because he actually did way better than I thought. What's her name was average. I think she did a good job for the role she had. I just think it was a horrible casting. She shouldn't have even been there. And Eisenberg I don't know what the hell. I knew he was exactly what I thought he'll be.
Who would you choose for Wonder Woman if you have anybody in mind?
I don't know. Like, to be honest, I know it's a hard role to grab, but that's not someone I'll do. And that's the thing, though. See, here the difference is, like, Disney/Marvel, they're not afraid to grab someone that's unknown, grab actors unknown. You know what I mean? So, like,
I kept thinking Olivia Munn.
Just for who? No way. She's another one. It's the same thing. Skinny.
It would have been eye candy. Yes, skinny.
No, that's
a little more.
No, she actually dressed like Wonder Woman cosplay. No, she looked good though. But I mean, no.
Good.
I mean, but besides that, let's go over about the movie itself. Overall, how do you feel about the movie?
Maybe it's just me and my love of Corvettes, but I kind of thought that the Batmobile looked like a highly, highly modified Corvette, and I thought it was incredible. It was great product placement, especially because if you watch those new Challenger commercials, they had the Corvette chasing the Challengers, and that's why they put in a Challenger commercial, because for some reason this Corvette couldn't catch the Challengers. But that's just my own. It's not a bias; it's a fact. Anyway, what else in the? I felt the movie seemed to be a little slow in the beginning, and then as it moved throughout, I guess I was expecting more Batman action. I expected some more Batman action and I want to say more Superman action, but Superman was busy trying to clear his name, and and you're probably gonna bring it up a little bit.
I'm gonna bring up a lot of things, so just let it all out right now, because I'm gonna flip in a second.
I remember thinking the same thing he said to me yesterday, that you never seemed to get that sense that Superman was not just a good guy, but like the goodest of the good guys, that everybody loves him, but then there might be that one naysayer who gets people talking, and then like, maybe we should think about this guy. Yeah, that illegal alien. Where's Trump? So we never really saw it. It was more like, it seemed like 50-50 as far as the public's concerned with Superman, and then. That was my take on it. And then the fight scene towards the end, excuse me, I enjoyed that. I thought it might have been a little bit more drawn out, but then also, I wish I could just flip and find this picture that this meme really quick. But now I've watched almost all the DC animated films, DC and like all the series and everything, and I love how Batman seems to hold his own in every single one of them. This one, against Doomsday, I saw an animated one. But this one, it was more like, it was mostly Wonder Woman versus this dude. Superman every once in a while get a couple punches in, and then he had to go save Lois. Okay, understandable. Yeah. But then Batman was kind of back there like, pow. No! Wonder Woman, and then Wonder Woman would come and save his ass. So yeah, I felt like, I don't know, Batman seemed to be not quite able to keep up with the woman and Superman, and that's how I felt about it. And what would I have done differently? I'm not a movie maker. I am a record spinner.
All right. Well, all right. So I'm gonna start off by saying that I did like the fight scenes. I thought that was, when they did it, it was great.
Oh, Batman did not purposely crash his car into Superman.
He purposely did.
No.
Anyway, so let me tell you. Let me go into the the important part of the movie. Okay, so the fight scenes, like I said, great, right? Everything else, what is going on? Let me start out, but let me ask you guys a question out there. Let me know in the comments. How many times have we seen the story of Batman? Do we have to know his parents died? Do we have to know all these things that there's flashbacks and scenes of all of like his origin story again? Like, do they have to keep telling us all this stuff? Like, do you feel like, do you already know this stuff? Do you need to watch it again? Do we have to know a backstory for every single person? Let's go. Superman. Let's talk about Superman for a while. He had his scene. Because that's what it was. 30 minutes Superman. 30 minutes Batman. And it went different sections to different people to introduce them. Why? Because they're trying to push everything into a movie, just shove it in there so that they could play the Justice League next. They could go into Justice League. That drove me crazy. Like, if the movie stopped, if they stopped right after Batman versus Superman, they stopped at that scene, and that's how the movie ended, I would have been okay with that. No. We had to continue on, and they had to join forces, and one person has to fight, and that drove me crazy. Okay, and let me go into let's go into Batman. Batman, let's just say Batman was the dumbest person. He fell for everything. Wonder Woman tricked him. Like, everyone tricked Batman in this movie. He couldn't figure things out, and Batman's supposed to be the world's greatest detective, and he couldn't figure out anything. Like, it just seemed like he only figured out certain things to make the plot, to make the story move forward. Yeah. But he didn't figure out certain little things, and that makes no sense. Superman character, it made no sense to me that automatically everyone hates Superman. Everyone does. And spoiler alert, Superman dies at the end of the movie. And guess what? No one cares, because there wasn't a point in the movie where people actually fell for the character, even the audience. You don't like Superman. No one likes Superman. No one got emotionally attached to Superman. So who the hell cares if Superman dies? That's the thing I don't understand why they did that. When I saw in the trailers before the movie's release, when they showed Doomsday, I let you know Doomsday, because he didn't read the comic book, so he didn't know.
I read that comic.
But I remind you, I told you that Doomsday just kills Superman, right? He killed Superman, and when that happened, I was like, you know what? I would not be shocked if they killed Superman, but I was like, they're not that dumb to kill Superman in this movie. They're not that dumb to kill Superman, and they did. Why would you kill someone, iconic character, without even making people
bringing that iconic status?
Yeah, without making people like him first. So right now, and not to mention the whole setup, in case you guys don't know, the way it looks like right now, it all looks like it's going for that injustice story, because it literally seems like Superman's gonna come back and be evil. That's what's going to unite the Justice League and all that stuff, and they're all gonna go and try to stop Superman. I could totally see that happening. Okay. I pretty much see that's what's going to happen, right? So who the hell cares if Superman's evil right now? No one likes him. No one has any emotional attachment to Superman yet. We didn't see Superman being good, like truly good at any of these movies. Like, so who the hell cares if he's evil or not? Like, for what they're going for makes no sense. Now I'm gonna give you my example. I'm gonna bring it to the Marvel, right? I'm still gonna say it. I still feel Captain America. So I'm marking this. I'm saying this here so that it's recorded. So then you say later that, oh, you never said it. It's bullshit. I'm gonna play this back and show you that I said it. I say Captain America is going to die in Civil War. Now, there's some hints in this, okay? It could be something small. It could be something small, but there's hints in this. In comic books, we all, spoiler alert, we know that Captain America eventually dies, right? Also, Chris Evans' contract is almost up. I think he's only signed for Infinity War. So we don't know if he could just have like there could be a glimpse of the past or something, a message is sent, something like that. So you don't know what he could play in Infinity War. Bucky becomes Captain America. I believe also the other guy, what's his name? The one with the wings.
Oh, sorry, Black Hawk. What's his real name? I don't remember.
He also, I believe, one point also carried a shield. So they both at one point carried a shield. So they could go either route on that. And also in the trailer, it shows Spider-Man grabbed Captain America's shield. Now, to most people, that seems like nothing, right? Just he's grabbing someone's shield. That's not a big thing. To me, that's saying like that is like when a captain loses his shield, that means that he's no longer alive, but he's no longer there. And I feel like it was foreshadowing that Captain America is going to lose his shield. The person that's going to lead that group in the future will be Spider-Man, the one that's going to unite them. He's going to be like Captain America, where he's going to be the good. Like, he's always going to do what's right. And that's pretty much what Spider-Man does anyway. So that's what I'm kind of saying. The way he took the shield, it could have been foreshadowing. I don't know, but that's my theory. But what I'm trying to get at is Captain America
under Ruth.
Captain America throughout, the first movie, Captain America, then Winter Soldier, like, you saw how good he is. In fact, even the Civil War trailers, you know that he's fighting for what he believes is right. Mm-hmm. And you see that he's good. So say they were to kill off a character like that, it means something, because you see that someone is dying for what they believe in. They're actually dying for a purpose, and they're dying, and you saw the good side. You're actually going to feel bad if they do die. You get what I'm saying? Superman, at what point do you feel bad for him? Because he was supposedly the alien, the evil one, and he was supposedly doing the wrong things. You know what I mean? So
I felt bad.
And that's why the only reason I relate to Marvel is because I really don't feel that bad for him. And like, on top of it, he's going to come back to life because there's a Justice League. So I feel like they wasted the whole thing. Obviously, they're not going to have the Justice League without Superman at some point. You know what I mean?
We don't know.
We do know. You're not going to have Justice League without Superman. That's why it's the dumbest thing. They have 11 months or whatever till Superman has to be reborn. So so you could be mourning for him for 11 months because he'll be back, and he's probably going to be evil, and then they're going to have to unite and everything, which is kind of weird because I don't know why they're going to deal without him being the leader or being there, and Batman's going to be in charge. It's going to be weird. That whole thing is going to be weird. It's just going to be weird. Like, this whole thing is annoying. I thought that it killed it. If they ended the story with a fight, I would have been happy. And
I think that fight between the two of them was
bullshit.
Yes.
That's bullshit.
I was trying not to say it for some reason, but yeah, I think that fight honestly was mostly bullshit.
Why?
Because everybody knows that, yes, according to the story, Batman beats Superman. But he doesn't beat him. Superman practically beats himself.
No.
For one thing, he stopped him with a couple of kryptonite grenades. Like kryptonite smoke grenades. So he inhaled that. That's pretty rough. You go and this guy inhales some not good air.
I was about to say, what do you go for on that one?
You inhale drugs. We all breathe oxygen. All of us. We all breathe out. We breathe in the slightest hint of not oxygen. And that's gonna slow us down. Obviously. You might as well be trying to, it might be like, let's say me fighting myself. I shoot me in the leg. I'm not going to be able to fight. He shot him in the face with a kryptonite smoke grenade. I always thought it was going to be a little more evenly matched.
Dude,
little bit more evenly.
It is. No. Dude, how do you look? The whole point is this.
Go home, Hector. Dude, you're drunk.
Let's put it this way. When you're fighting, right, street fight, okay? If it's a street fight, which it's a street fight,
the street always wins.
No, if it's a street fight, you're telling me you're going to fight fair? Street fight? So nothing. I thought anything goes in street fight. You know what I mean? I don't remember that shit. We're street fight. I'm gonna throw a freaking kryptonite grenade in your face. Like, I'm telling you right now. If you think it's gonna be a fair fight, I'm gonna throw something in your face, and then when you're coughing and shit, I'm gonna attack you. Like, you know what I mean? And I guarantee you, I'm not gonna stop hitting you just because if our moms have the same name, I'm not gonna stop hitting you. Like, if your mom's named Martha, I'm not gonna stop hitting you. Like, I want to talk about that bullshit real quick.
But wait, yeah, we want to talk about that shit.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go say, like, you're saying that it was a cheap shot. I'll put it this way.
I say cheap shot, but it was also, Batman wanted to kill him. Superman didn't even want to be in the fight in the first place.
Batman is supposed to be the world's greatest detective, right? Yeah. So that's his thing. Like, he always uses his mind and his money to think of something, right? Then he uses his money to create it, and then he uses it to stop the person. He's been doing that forever. That's the thing. Like, he'll always find a way. He'll find someone's weakness, and he'll exploit it. He's done that. That's the reason why he beat Superman. Superman does not do that. Superman's childish in some ways in the fact that he'll just try to use his strength and try to use things and not outsmart someone. And Superman was never known for his brains. That's just the way it is. Superman's always been all muscle and not brains.
Because he's supposed to have like a really, really great mind too.
And that's just the way it is. But let's go to the way the fight ended, which really pissed me off. The fight ended, you know, like play the clip. So Batman, aka Ben Affleck, was kicking Superman's ass. You know, he's beating the crap out of him, and then all of a sudden,
Superman was letting Batman.
Okay, right. And so then he's kicking the crap out of Superman because Superman let him. Whatever, still losing. And all of a sudden, you know, the annoying chick that always gets herself in trouble. What's her name again? Because I can never think of her. You know what I mean? Because she's not in every single like thing related to Superman. She's always getting in trouble no matter what, and he always has to save her. How many times could she? Like, there's so many things. Like, how does she end up there in the first place?
So you're talking about Bella Swan, right? From Twilight.
No, I'm talking about Lois Lane. How does she end up there in the first place? How does she end up in that area?
I don't know. Oh, yeah, Chopper.
Yeah.
Chopper.
Yeah, they just automatically, sure, you could go use the chopper. I'm going to drop you off in the same exact area that they're at so that you could go ahead and shout out one thing.
You know, one thing, okay, I might not be very good with comic book maps, but I always imagine Metropolis being somewhere around, I don't know, Chicago, if we're talking about real life, and Gotham City be like New York. That's at least 12 hours away.
I call bullshit. I don't know how far it is from each other, but I call bullshit that she traveled there that quickly in a helicopter, and she knew exactly where to go. I guess she just followed the fire and the smoke, flames, like everything, the screaming.
all the screams.
Like I don't know. I just think when you find out Superman shouts out Martha and the Batman stops. Oh my God! How did you know Martha? How do you know this person?
And what did I tell you before? Like I said, yes, Batman has a weakness. He's got a contingency for every single one of his partners. So every superhero he knows how to stop because he knows each one of their weaknesses. But did it never occur to you that somebody else might use his weakness against him? Superman didn't know it, but Batman has a weakness too. Everybody knows it's his parents.
The reason why I say it's bullshit. Batman, once again, as we know, we learned that he knew Superman's weakness. He's the greatest detective in the world. You're telling me the greatest detective in the world, which actually he must know Clark Kent. He must know who his parents were. And all of a sudden, you don't know the name is Martha, and you're shocked? Who the hell if you're kicking the crap out of someone, you know, you were in a fight and you're beating up someone, and the person screams out their name, you're gonna stop punching. Like, oh man, you're right. What will my mom think of this? Yeah, at that moment, you're just gonna stop and be friends.
Yeah,
you're not gonna be friends. And then on top of
what you say about my mom?
Like, you know what I mean? Like then Superman's gonna shake his hand and like we're friends. Let's all go fight Doomsday. Get the hell out of here. This is the most ridiculous thing. That was a cop out. That was a complete cop out. They couldn't think of a better way to make them stop fighting. You know, obviously we all knew they're going to stop fighting at some point. Everyone knew that with the trailer. You already knew they're going to stop fighting. They even showed what they were going to do.
How?
It's the dumbest way how to stop fighting.
Just because it didn't go down the way you wanted it.
You
imagine. It's called vision.
Honestly, like vision. I think the people that let this get into the movie were just completely dumb. That right there was a dumb plot to end it. That was a huge cop out to stop a fight from happening, like to break up a fight. You know what I mean? Like there's better ways. You know, there could have been, like, if that was the case, they could have had someone die. They could have had someone die, and because they saw someone die that was important, could have been like, we got to stop what we're doing. You know what I mean? Something like that.
It surprised me, honestly. I didn't know that their moms had the same.
It's the dumbest.
I feel like I felt like I should have. I felt like I should have known. But to call attention to Star Wars again, maybe it was supposed to be a big shock factor.
It was not.
It was, you know, like Darth Vader was his father, so this time, hey, let's say his mother.
No, because you see, the thing is, you're looking at characters that were already developed in the first movie. If you're talking about Star Wars, right? Mm-hmm. Darth Vader, evil, right? Darkness. dark side. Then you have Luke Skywalker, innocent. You know what I mean? He's, the light, dark, light, not skin color. I'm talking about, so you already fell for him. So then the fact that you knew now that that's the father, you're like, wow, like that now he has evil in him. Like he's related to evil. Like how is he going to react from this point on? Is he destined to be evil too? Now there's so many questions pop in your mind. Martha, the fuck, Martha, wow. Her name is Martha. This blows my mind. Is that the same? Are they the same people? Do they have the same mom? Was Superman really like Batman's brother? Like mind blown. Like no, it wasn't a moment like that. No one thought that at all. No one cared about that. It was the dumbest way to make two people stop fighting. I really felt like that was just dumb and it was uncalled for.
First Pokemon movie.
Oh God, here we go.
First Pokemon movie. When all the Pokemon clones are fighting each other, and then Pikachu climbs to the top of the cliff and sees everybody. Brother, my brother.
Yeah, see, that's a great way to end this podcast. All right, so
that's how you stop. That's a great way to stop fighting.
Overall, if you had to rate this movie 1 to 10, what would you rate it? Be honest. It's okay. You can say whatever. You can say 10. I mean, I'm not gonna at all doubt you. You'll be the only critic to ever give a freaking 10. But go ahead. No, be honest. What do you say? 1 to 10?
What's the deal with Alfred not being old?
Alfred's not old. Alfred does everything. Alfred learned how to do everything. You name it, Alfred could do it. Like it's ridiculous. So
I just want to know why Alfred wasn't old. He looked like he could have been his older brother. He looked like he was his older brother.
Alfred was just the guy that did everything for Batman. Batman's the laziest guy in this movie. Like he's not really a detective in this movie. Like he honestly he could kick people's ass though. Like he kicked people's ass, but like he doesn't know what he's doing, like thinking wise. He's not a detective. He doesn't have to build anything. He doesn't have to do anything.
He built his own weight room.
Yeah, okay. So what do you give the score?
I don't know. 6 out of 10. Maybe, yeah, I would say a 6 out of 10. Maybe
6 out of
5. 10. But I mean, that's just me. I'm a nice
just a
guy.
number. What do you?
6.
Not nice. Be honest. What do you feel? 6.
I can't be critical of somebody's art. It's art.
It is art.
It's
art. But you can say you like the art or you don't like the art. Simple as that.
I am okay.
Because you're forgetting it's not really someone's view on art, but like I feel like comic books are already completed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like you already sort of know the characters, you already know the people.
Movies.
I get that, but like the thing is though, you could. I think here's the thing: you gotta at least start out by at least letting them start looking like the characters, because these are things already drawn out and they already have versions of them. All these versions of all these characters like do not look like Lex Luthor. I haven't seen one comic book version of him. Not one. You know what I mean? If you're going to portray Lex Luthor as something, you could choose one style and say, I'm going with this style and I'm going to change it up a little bit. They didn't even do that. They just create their own way, which is just like what's complete disaster. So you're saying 6 out of 10?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you brought up Lex.
No.
You brought me at and then it's
going down.
And it's like a 5.
All right, so 6 out of 10 is what you're going to 6 out of 10. So I'm going to give this.
Died from the door.
If it was just Lex, I would have gave this movie a 3. But let's be realistic. I think the movie is a 5 because obviously there's lots of worse movies than this. I think the story was just weak. I thought the story went all over the place. They weren't focused on anything but building up the Justice League, which they didn't even build it up right because now you only have Superman yet in the Justice League. So they're not even building it up the right way either.
Nobody's in the Justice League yet.
That's what I'm saying. Like the whole thing is already,
let alone Superman.
And like, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be one of those things, Justice League, that they're gonna fight against Superman. They're gonna turn him good again. At the end of it, it's gonna be like they're joined in and they're gonna start the Justice League. So I feel like that's what's gonna happen in the next movie. So they're all going to try to stop Superman from being.
We can't bring up Darkseid at all.
I mean, I think that's gonna be there too. I think that's towards the end though. I think like after they get Superman,
that'll be like Justice League Part 2.
yeah. So I'm thinking that's after they get Superman back for being good, then they all see a threat and how they join forces to stop it.
And that's the third platform that I was going for earlier when I said X-Men. They're fighting Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So and then the Marvel universe, they had to fight. They had to fight the dude with the Infinity Gauntlet. I was gonna say Infinity Bracelet. Right? Nice accessory. And now the DC, and then they're gonna have to fight Darkseid pretty soon.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really soon. Like they just jumped into it. Like you were talking about one movie, and then you automatically, bam, you're into. I mean, 1.5 movies. I guess Man of Steel. This was a sequel to Man of Steel first, even though it didn't feel like a sequel. It was a sequel to it first. So, yeah. I mean, but I give this movie 5 out of 10. And and that's just the honest opinion. I only gave it a 5 out of 10 because of the fight scenes. I thought it had action. I thought it had a lot of good parts in it when they did it. But problem is, there's so many things that were just messed up in this movie, between casting, between rushing into storylines, and it's like they didn't even know what storyline they're going with, and it seemed like literally they changed the writing like many times. That's what I felt like. I felt like the movie will go one way and then it switched, and I don't think it was like a planned way. I think they just kept changing the script. I felt like they kept changing it, and there's gaps missing in the movie, and like I know that they have like an extra 30 or 40 minutes, something like that, for the rated R version when it comes out on DVD. They already said it's going to be a rated R version. So, I'm sure they're gonna have a bunch of missing parts there, but either way, I don't think it's gonna save this movie. I think
they actually cut Superman.
I think rightfully so. I understand. Like, if I wasn't a Batman fan, okay, I'm just a Batman fan. If I wasn't a Batman fan, I probably would have gave the score like a 4 out of 10. And like, I think that's pretty much what a lot of the reviews were saying. And like, if you look at it, like, how can you possibly give that score? I'm like, I agree with him. I was shocked because I've seen all these reviews before I went there. And I kept telling him, like, man, it's as low as like 40%, or it's like 30-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. And you're like, oh, stop looking at that. Then like after the movie is done, I actually agreed with most of them. I gave it a little bit higher score, but I pretty much understood why they said that. They said it because the story was weak.
Do you think you would have felt differently if you hadn't seen the Rotten Tomatoes review?
No, because it's a story. Like I think here's the thing, like, DC,
I still believe in going.
I think DC was banking on the nostalgia factor, right? DC is banking on the nostalgia factor. It's like, oh, there's 2 iconic heroes on screen for the first time. It's going to be awesome, right? They're banking on people being excited about that. But they forget that people have seen every character from comic books on TV already. There's no more real nostalgia factor. Like, yeah, you want to see it, but it's not you're so like addicted to it. It's like, I gotta see this. Like, we've seen it, right? There's no wow factor.
I don't think
anymore.
I don't think it's a nostalgia thing anymore. I think it's more, this is what it looks like if it was real. This is what it looks like if Superman and Batman were here with us in 2016.
It doesn't make sense. Like, they treat the fan, like the people that are stupid. They treat us like we're stupid. Like they go over Batman's story again, right? They go over it like detail, like pretty much.
What in the hell is Bruce Wayne not dealing with? Every time, as a 40-something-year-old man, whenever he hears about his parents and he didn't bring it up himself,
yeah, it's like
he freezes. I do wonder about that.
It's just like, and once again, they go over that, right? But they don't really talk about certain other points, like the dream and stuff. Like, they make everything so vague, but yet they go over something that we've seen 1,000 times over and over again. Like his origin story. Like, they didn't, they should have saved that time to go over other parts that are actually more important to the story of what you're trying to lead into, which is the Justice League movie, right? Mm-hmm. So they didn't do that. So I don't know. It seemed like they didn't know who the target audience was in this movie. They just went all over the place. So that's why I give it 5 out of 10. Final answer.
Understood.
All right. So I guess that's pretty much it, man. It turned out to be like an hour podcast or something that we only had 3 topics, which was really intro, favorite video games, and a movie. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys think about this podcast. Let us know about any topics that we talked about today, especially Batman versus Superman. Let us know if you like the movie or not. Also, give us a name for this podcast. We'll take any ideas, stuff like that. We're going to attempt to do this once a week or so. We're not going to have a set day yet. I will promise you, though, the next time that we do this is not going to be Google Hangouts. More than likely, I'm going to be streaming it from OBS. and I'm gonna try, make sure that it's a lot better quality. I'll raise the bit rate and a whole bunch of other things because this right here is not working out for me. I don't like the way it looks yet, but I mean, to just start out, it's fine. But we're gonna make sure it looks better for you next time. Besides that, George,
can you see this? You guys can my little master sword sheath.
Yeah, he's missing the sword though. That means he's not the master. Just all right, but yeah. Besides that, is there anything else you want to talk about, or anything you want to say before we go? What do you think we should talk about next week or something? Is there a topic that next week that you're looking forward to talk to? Maybe there's a game or something.
Let's see. Well, I'm really looking forward to Civil War. I just can't wait to see Civil War.
Civil War, so you could see this character for the first time.
Under Bruce!
This character right here, Honor. That character will be there.
It's my dude.
I'll just be excited this character makes an appearance. That'll be pretty cool. They were able to buy him off too. There was rumors about it. I don't think it happened, but imagine Wolverine goes on screen for a couple seconds. Done. Wolverine and Spider-Man in the same movie. Done. But yeah, I mean, I guess we're kind of biased in that way that we do like Marvel better. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I am a diehard Batman fan. Like, you see all this Batman stuff I have. Like, I'm
Spider-Man.
I'm Batman and Spider-Man. Like, I like Spider-Man Marvel side the best, and I like Batman in general for DC. So like, I am not biased when it comes to DC. Of course, I like Marvel better, but I like Batman hands down, like, a lot. So like, that Batman and Spider-Man is the same exact level to me. So that's why, like, I'll be dead serious. Like, I was so excited for this movie. Originally, until I actually saw the first trailer, and I think once I started hearing who was gonna be cast, once I heard who was casted, that's when I was like, it was just going down. Then I saw the first trailer, went down. Second trailer went down. The third trailer killed it for me. The last trailer brought it back up because I thought the last trailer was awesome. The fight scene when they show Batman going back and forth, it looked like the video game, But
yeah, I was just thinking about. I still remember when the third trailer came out, and we see Doomsday for the first.
I was pissed.
Like, he literally threw his arms up and was like, "That's what's the point? I don't even have to go to the movies anymore."
They said everything in it, but
I asked him last week, "Yo, should we pre-order our tickets?"
Out of here. All right, well, that's pretty much it. So there's Hector from Not2Nerdy.
This is George from Not2Nerdy.
And that's pretty much it. All right, see you too.